Okay, we're back again here and we're going to look at today creating some buttons we can use for our website. Now, at the moment our website's set up without any images to use as buttons, but I thought sometimes it looks a little bit better to use some images as in your menu. You can just choose to have your menu the way it is at the moment, maybe mess around with the colours a little, but I'm going to show you if you want to create your own buttons. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to just create one button and show you how to do that. And what we do is we create two different versions of the same button. They're really just different transparencies, and you'll see why later when we get into Dreamweaver. Okay, let's get started. So we need to create a new canvas. So we go up to our new canvas button in the top left corner and press new. Now for this one, I'm going to make a square button. I'm going to make it 60 pixels by 60 pixels. You'll be able to see what sort of size that looks like, and you can decide whether you want bigger buttons or smaller buttons. Our resolution 72, that's fine for screens. And this time we're going to have a transparent background. So I'm going to have a transparent background for mine. I'll press OK. You can see that the button's going to be quite small. That's showing at 100%. That's a little bit difficult to work with at that size, so I'm going to increase my view of that up to 400%. Now it's a little bit easier for me to see and to work with. Okay, what I'm going to do is trying to create a round style button. And so to do that, first of all, I'm going to come down to my colors down here, and I'm going to have a fill color of white, which is already chosen. If it's not chosen for you, just click on it and choose white. And the stroke color, I just want to be transparent, so I don't want any line around the outside. I'll come up here into my vector panel, and I'm going to choose and hold down my mouse button on the rectangle tool, and you'll get a whole bunch of different possibilities, and one of those is the ellipse tool. So I'm just going to mouse over, let my button go on the ellipse tool, and you can see it change to that round ellipse tool over there. Now I'm going to create my circle first of all on my button. I'm going to the very top left corner of the screen. I'm going to hold down the shift key on my keyboard while I drag from left to right. Now the reason I do that for is because when you hold your shift key, it will make a perfect circle for you. If you don't hold your shift key, you might get an oval or something like that. So when it's just nice and filled up on my 60 pix by 60 pix, and that's pretty perfect, I let go of my mouse button, and there you go. I've got a perfect white circle to start with. Fantastic. Okay, I might cheat a little bit now. I'm going to actually punch a hole in the middle of that circle, and to do that, I'm just going to select my circle. So I'm going up to my pointer tool. I've got my circle selected. I'm going to press Control or hold down the Control key and press C to copy that. Then click away from it so it's not selected and press Control V. Now that pastes a copy of that circle on top of the other one. Now I'm going to take that circle and I'm going to resize it. So this little button up here underneath the pointer tool, the scale tool, I'm going to click that one. You'll see you get a bounding box around your circle. And if you go to the top left corner or any of the corners, hold down the shift key again and start dragging inwards, you'll resize that circle. Now I might have to play with this a little bit, but I'll go to about there, let go of my mouse button, and you can see that I've got my circle made. Now I'm just going to have a look down in the bottom left corner and just check that I have got a perfect circle. Now I haven't really down here. You can see it's a 46 pixel wide, 45 height. Now that can happen from time to time. So I feel like I need a little bit wider. So I'm going to go out here to 48. I'm going to change the height to 48. I'm going to press enter. That will give me a perfect circle. Then I'm just going to use my arrow keys on my keyboard to position that circle so it's right in the middle. What I also might do is just drag some rulers out on my guide. So you come to your rulers section over here and just hold your mouse button down and drag across. It just brings up a 10 blue line. And if you line that up at the top with 30, because we remember how we had 60 by 60, if you line it up right on 30, you'll get a line right in the middle. I'm going to pull one down from the top. Same thing. Get one right in the middle so I know that my circle is dead center. Now, I said I was going to punch a hole, so this is how I punch a hole. Just clicking away so nothing is selected. I'm going to go to the outside one and just click on it, select it. Then I'm going to hold my shift key down again and click on the middle one. Now I've got both of those circles selected. I'll come up to Modify up the top and come down to Combine Paths. And in Combine Paths, you will find a punch one in Combine Paths. Now when you press punch, it will punch using that second hole into the first hole, and we'll see what we get. Okay, fantastic. Now we've got a round ring to start our button, and this is pretty much the look I'm going for at the moment, so that's good. Now what I might do, I'm going to use this round circle for my 5 buttons. So I might do a save at this point, because then I can bring this up as my template to start every button if I have to finish my work and come back to it later. So I'm going to do a save as. Going to go to a spot where I'm happy enough with it, and I might call this button template. That's just my button template, so I know I can come back to that one. And I actually am looking up and I can see I've got a button template already, so I might just call this button template 2. I must have been playing around with the button a bit earlier, so I'll call this one button template 2. Now the blue lines you're seeing on Fireworks, you won't see those once you do the graphics, they're just guide lines, so we don't need to worry about those. What I'm going to create first of all is my, I might create a home button. Let's see, so I'm going to put a little picture of a house or a pretend house in there. So I'm going to create my house. To do that, I'll come back to where my ellipse tool is and just hold my mouse button down again. This time I'm going to select the rectangle tool. So I'm just going to select that rectangle tool, and I'm going to draw a square. So I'll hold my shift key down. I'm going to draw my square, and I can just see down in the bottom left corner it's 23 by 23. I might make it a little bit bigger. Try and get a nice even number. It's a bit easier to line up. So that looks good, 26 by 26. I'll let that go. I might position that one a little bit higher. Okay, pretty happy with that. That looks pretty much in the center to me. So 26 by 26, that's fine. Now I might just expand this up. What sort of look will we give it? We might give it a couple of little windows. So I might just expand this up to 800 pixels. And I might just for the moment just get rid of my guides over here so I can just see it nice and easy. Just going to do the same as I did before, and I'm going to create some little rectangles, and I might just create a little window there, 8 by 6, that looks good to me. I might copy that, Control C, and I'll paste it. There it is there, and I'll put that across towards the other side. Now you can see that got one window there, one window there. They're pretty evenly spaced. Yeah, I like those. Okay, so I'm going to click, so I've got my square highlighted. I'm going to hold my shift key down, click my other little squares. There you go there. And we're going to go up and try and do a punch again. So we'll go to modify, combine paths, and punch. See what we get. Oh, we got one. That was good. Didn't work, it only did one at a time. So we'll come in, we'll select that one, we'll hold the shift key, select that second window, we'll go modify, punch again. Oh, we've got too many paths now. Oh, we've got too many paths, so we'll see if we can modify. There we go. So now we've got just the 2 paths and we've got our 2 windows punched out. You don't have to do it like that. You could just do a door or something in the middle. That's just something I chose to do. Now I just want to make the roof. So I'm just going to go up and I'm going to use the pen tool for this one. And I'm going to create a half roof and then just copy it and create the other half. So I'll come down to my pen tool. I come right up to the corner of my square. And oops, just made a little mistake there. I just click once on the corner of my square, and I come up to my halfway point, and I can see that my line, if I look up the top on my ruler, when it's right on 30, I know it's exactly halfway. So I'll click there, I come back down, and if I hold the shift key down, I should get an exact straight line down. Perfect. And one more across on my last one. Fantastic. You'll notice that I've got a little change over here. It's actually giving me a stroke color and not a fill color. So that was my mistake over here. Now our fill color is actually transparent. Now stroke color is white. So I want to swap those around. So I want my fill color to be white and I want my stroke color to be transparent or nothing. Okay, perfect. I'll come back up here to my pointer tool. I'm just going to select that one and I'm going to press Control C to copy it and then Control V to paste again. Now I've got one sitting on top of the other. I'll just press this little button up here, which will flip that one horizontally. You can see it's flipped horizontally. Now I'm going to use the arrow keys on my keyboard just to move that one across so it lines up the other one. Okay, fantastic. I've created my little roof for my house now. That's looking quite good. I'm quite happy with that. I'm going to just go out to 100% just to see what it looks like. Well, it's hard to see what it looks like that, but I'll tell you what, I'll come to 300% and I'll give it a background So I'm going to right click in this grey area. I'm just going to put a background colour in so I can have a bit of an idea of what it looks like. So canvas colour, and I'm just going to choose a black background. Okay, so there it is there. There's my little house. It's a little bit down too low, so what I might do is just hold the shift key down, select everything, and I might just move it up a touch so it's a bit more centered. Okay, I'm fairly happy with that one. I think that's okay for my house. So I'm going to change that color back, that canvas color. So modify canvas, back to canvas color, and make it transparent again. Okay, now here's a little trick. We probably would save this, and we'd save this as our home edit button, but we're going to export it, and we need to export it in a certain file format. So here we go for export. We'll go up to our file export wizard. Actually, before we do that, what we want to do is we want to set the transparency of these different colors here. So what I'm going to do is create two buttons, one with a transparency of 70% and one with a transparency of 30%. Okay, so what I'll do is select everything, and I'm going to come down the bottom here and drop down my transparency. So you'll see a little transparency drop down menu there. I'm going to drop one down to 70. And you might be able to see that you can just see through that white now, so it's a little bit transparent. Fantastic, and I'm going to export that one, and I'm going to press continue, exit. And this time when I save, I'm not going to save as a JPEG, I'm going to save as a PNG 32. And a PNG 32 will give me that transparency. The JPEG one, it will just go back to white again. So I'll press export, and this time I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to give it home -70, so I know it's the one that is 70%. And I'm going to press save. Fantastic. Now I'm going to save it again, but this time I'm going to change the transparency again, and it's not going to be 70, it's going to be right down at 30. Not sure how this will go, but so my transparency is right down at 30% now. You can barely see it on the page there. I'm going to export it, same as before. This time it's just going to go into PNG 32. This time when I export, I'm going to give it home 30. Hopefully 30 is okay. We'll have to check that out and save. Fantastic, so I've got two buttons saved there. All right, we're going to leave this now, and we're going to go back in our next lesson to Dreamweaver and see what happens when we put those in. Thank you.